What is going on? Welcome to GoldBoys Live. It's just me and Brad today, which actually might be our best shows when we do these on Thursdays. But
Yeah.
as always, we appreciate Picket Sports and Sleeper Picks. And I mean, we have two championship baseball games, and we have a Thursday night football game. There's a lot going on today, Brad. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I've just been talking about sports for the past 8 hours straight, but another opportunity to make some more bets. I try my best to like make sure in each episode or each show that I do, it's a different like I have new bets to provide new value. So hopefully the people watching who watch all the shows get a little bit of new content.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but I put that in the group chat earlier. If you want value, Travis Etienne, 19 and a half on Caesars. It's minus 27, but you can they have a same game parlay boost, and I was gonna use 25 plus in it, and they have
Yeah.
minus like 400 for the alt 25 plus. So talk about value there. But I know we were talking before the show that kind of going to move Thursday Night Football to the back of the show and start talking about these NLDS and ALDS games, which we said it yesterday. We got what we wanted a little bit with the ALDS,
Yeah.
CS, where we got we got a win. We actually got another team to win a game and
Thank
force it
God.
to at least 5 or 6 because we see all these sweeps has been kind of frustrating.
Yeah, that was a good game for the Astros. I made a lot of money on that just betting on Astros batters. I think it was Josh who said something like along. I just kind of like deduce other people's thought process when I don't know a sport that well. Like when he said he thinks that like it's kind of do or die for the bats of the Astros to come alive. I bet them like their bats and like they turned out to be pretty profitable. It wasn't nothing like crazy like life changing money, but I put like maybe a quarter of unit on some of my favorite guys on that team.
Yeah, I know a friend will bet like everybody to hit a home run, so I'm not sure how that worked out or not,
Yeah, I
but
really wanted to know because like wasn't it
yeah,
only
I
wasn't it
actually
only
don't
on
know.
Tuesday and Jung? I feel like if it would have cashed, Will would have said something.
Well, yeah, if that long like missile of a whatever was anywhere close, he would have said something very, very
100% or like
fresh.
Jordan getting robbed, he would have definitely said something.
Yeah, I do think it was one of those games where I only had the one play from the show yesterday, which was Scherzer's under and outs, and I was kind of upset with myself because I didn't post it. I just like there was just so much I liked about it, but if I'm posting in my channel and GoldBoys, I do like the due diligence where I really want it to be a play that
Exactly, I
checks
agree.
that checks all my boxes, and I kinda just didn't, but if you want an action, once it moved to 13 and a half, I did take it, so it was a nice win, even though I didn't end up posting it because Josh made a lot of good points on the show.
Yeah, I took it. I posted it on Twitter with another hockey play on Underdog, which was pretty nice. Got 3-1 payout there. I'm just glad that like it's not going to be like a freaking blowout or whatever, like a sweep. You
Yeah.
want to talk about the games today because
I'm
your
about to
boys
say,
play today at five
let's
o'clock.
yeah, well, first off, what a bad start time. It's 1 PM there, it's 5 PM here in Eastern time, whatever. It's just I I get that they want these games, staggered, but you're telling me you can't do a 6 and 8:30? Like, is that 20
Yeah,
minutes for the 8:10 to 8:30 really that big? It is what it is. We're gonna make it work, but yeah, we were talking before the show that despite being the Phillies fan, I try to look at bets and do this show as objectively as possible. But the Phillies are laying minus 124 in a game where I know that they're on the road, but the Diamondbacks, I don't know how much their home field advantage is going to give. Their bats look kind of checked out. They don't have the pitching matchup, which is the big thing for
no,
me. I feel
not
like
at
a lot
all.
of
Yeah,
times, I feel like a lot of times postseason pitching is what factors into pricing a lot. And like I said, unbiasedly, I'm going to take Rangers Warriors in the playoffs over Brandon Fat. I think any day of the week. I mean, Rangers Warriors last 2 seasons his career ERA in the playoffs is I think 1.12. I think it's like 1.16 or something like that. He's just been phenomenal. So I do think it's a little strange that it's such a short price.
yeah, it's interesting. Like when we look at Brandon Fat, like yeah, he had that 4 inning gem against the Dodgers, but that was kind of like a dead Dodgers team. And then that game where he played against the Brewers, he had 7 hits and 6 or 3 runs in 2 and 2/3 inning. Like I think the Phillies can get to him. Maybe I might play Phillies team total because I did bet Dodgers team total in that. And let's see. I wonder what. his price, the Phillies price is. I think I want to do Phillies first five.
Yeah,
Let's
Phillies
see.
first 5 with the push chance is also -130. So,
Wow.
a lot of good prices. I'm glad you mentioned the team total because I was looking at a way to bet like a Suarez, 2-leg parlay with the Phillies runs.
Yeah.
But can I interest you in this? How interesting is this? This is one of those things where the price is just so good, I might have to take it. Uh, you've been doing these shows with me for a while. I like the player performance double market, and
Oh yeah.
Ranger scores 3 strikeouts and Phillies to win is +165. That just like that's so tempting to me. If you think that they're that much better, you think Suarez gets a bigger leash because the game tomorrow is likely a bullpen game. I imagine he goes at least 4, if not 5 innings.
Yeah.
There's 3 guys in this Diamondbacks roster that have close to 30% strikeout rates against lefties. It was one of those things where I was almost upset it was such a good price because I was building certain stuff, like seeing what I compare with what, and then I
Yeah.
saw that a 3 strikeout and a win is +165. So 1 unit returns 1.65 units, which just seems like just a fantastic price if you do believe that the Phillies get the win and Suarez pitches effectively, which I think he does.
Yeah, I like that. I'm for some reason like FanDuel is like the hardest. I don't even know. I'm trying to find the price for Philly's first five, but I feel like they move their shit over all the time.
First 5 is
Total
-120. Oh, for the
team total.
total.
Oh,
It's
here we
fa
go. I think I found
Yeah.
it. No, I didn't.
The team
All right,
total is 2.5 on DraftKings at minus
two and a half.
105, which makes
Ooh,
sense. I'm actually like that's the thing. The Phillies pitching has been so good that I can't tell if I want to pair like a Suarez 3 strikeouts with the win or for the team total because I think they score runs, but I also think that their pitching staff has been so phenomenal that people aren't even talking about. They've only allowed, was it? I think they have more home runs than runs allowed. 16 home runs, 12 runs allowed in the playoffs
wow,
so far. That's just a crazy
that's
stat.
a
Where
crazy stat.
yeah,
That's a really good stat.
so I do think if you trust the Phillies bullpen slash Ranger Suarez, I think the money line is also going. Phillies F5 went hard. Was it -3.5 at +500? Okay, that is a aggressive way to play it, but I don't hate it. I do think, like I said, I always preface that I have more rooting interest than most people here, but that 10-0 game, the the Diamondbacks just didn't look like they were locked in. Like they didn't look like a
Yeah,
team. Like I
it's
could eat my words here, but did they look like a team that they left the field looking pissed off, and you're like, oh shit, they might turn the tides. They just kind of they didn't look like they were locked in the slightest.
no, yeah, they didn't. They didn't look like they were like ready to ball. Like they just looked like they were like, we made it this far. Like we did well.
Yeah, I mean they stranded runners. They never really looked to get even the innings where they didn't score and they stranded runners. There was not a lot of like passion I saw. Even you saw game 4 against the Braves where Arcia was taunting the crowd and Acuna kind of screamed at him and had this like they looked like they were pissed. The Diamondbacks didn't even have the emotion to look like they were upset about it. It was just strange. That's kind of how I read it, where uh, it just the Brave series had always felt like, oh, if they get one good inning, the whole thing could flip on its side. I
Yeah.
just haven't seen that yet in the first 2 games.
Yeah, no. I literally do. It does feel like they're like kind of like a dead team walking, you know. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it is what it is for them.
Yeah, I do think that I looked at Fats over and earned runs at 1.5, but I ended up not taking it just because I don't know, like we talk about these short leashes. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go deep in the slightest in this game because they can't afford to have another starter just get teed off on. So I do
Yeah.
think that I don't know how much I like him and his outs are 11.5. So you
And we know when you bet a guy and you need some runs, there's always like a ton
it's
of
always
dudes
like
in
one error
scoring
too.
position, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you get like
Like,
the air."
I swear whenever I bet earned runs, there's always like an error that doesn't matter because I once lost an earned run prop because there was an error that made the guy go from second to third, and there was a home run, and I was like, "How is that an unearned run? He
Oh,
was
that's
on base
good.
anyway. Like he's on base anyway. It doesn't matter if he got to third on the error. Like he was gonna score on that hit. Whatever.
Yeah,
I rest my case, but I do think there's some value there. And the over under is 9. I don't hate the over, but as you kind of mentioned, I'd rather just play the Phillies first 5 or team total because I don't know how much you want to trust the Diamondbacks to put up runs to get you to that, like, 6-3 to push or 6-4 to win on an over
Yep.
under of 9.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So moving on to the ALCS, it's Equity and Haney tonight, right?
Yep.
Yep. So this is like as even as you can get. I'm seeing a lot of -110s on both sides, or FanDuel has it, Rangers -116. So this is at least projecting to be a very even game, which we kind of saw yesterday. I mean, I know the Astros were up big, but the Rangers kind of came back. They made it competitive. I do think this is going to be a more competitive series, and we talked about before. The Astros have been so much better on the road this year, so maybe there's something to that. I just think for a game 4, we're at that point where it's really gonna be the difference of which one of these you don't wanna they're major league pitchers, but it's which one of these other guys is gonna step up because obviously Euclid and Haney are not the 2 guys you really are rushing to send out there, but at this point in the series,
Yeah.
one of the you gotta pull the trigger on them, so
But is Haney gonna like? Is he how deep is he gonna go into this game? I might take him under 3.5 strikeouts.
yeah, I'm glad you said that because I saw some people because not saying this is like a thing, but his outs are 10.5, which
Yeah, I don't think he goes deep at all. Like he
he might
hasn't
only go
pitched.
he
Yeah, he
might only
hasn't
go
pitched.
3 innings. Yeah,
Yeah, he hasn't pitched deep.
we have someone in the chat also saying Astros money line, Rangers bullpen game. Yeah, the Rangers, like we said, I don't think Haney's gonna go deep at all. I mean,
No, I don't either.
if he pitches effectively, which
Sure.
if he does, he might
Yeah.
go even that might be 4 innings and they pull him. Like, I don't know. He's not the kind of guy we talked about getting teed off. He's not the
Yeah.
kind of guy you want the Astros hitters to see 3 times through in the slightest, because that 3rd time through could be dangerous for a guy that really allows a lot of hard contact.
Yeah, I took his line right now. I'm gonna see if I can find a better price. I only put I put 0.75 units on. Oh shit. I didn't. It didn't go through. Someone's listening.
Yeah. Um,
I like his under strikeout.
so you took the strikeouts, but say, the 10.5 is interesting for outs. It almost makes it super unappealing, which
Yeah.
makes no sense. Even at 11.5, I would actually look for a number, but 10.5 is just such a
Best
weird
prices.
prop. The
A lot
under
of
and
places
say
are listing him at 3.
oh,
Oh, that's why it changed from 4.5 to 3.5, and now I can't bet it.
yeah.
That line must have been wrong. Damn.
Best price for under 3.5 strikeouts is FanDuel -144 for Andrew Heaney.
It's so weird why I can't bet it.
What book you can't use it right now? Like what you're on for?
I was using a credit book, but I did get it in at 3.5. I'm still good with 3.5.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is the right line. I mean, his
I
last
think
few
FanDuel had 3.5 too, right?
yeah, minus
Yeah.
145. Yeah, his last few starts too. I mean, he's gone 3 and 2/3, 4 and 1/3, 1 and 1.5, two
Yeah.
and 2 1/3. Like he kind of changed into a bullpen pitcher, but like we said before, he's still a guy that they're gonna send out there. I just am really I almost don't want to touch any of his, outs or over in the slightest just because he has the experience to go 5 or 6 innings, but I just don't see him in a playoff game getting the nod to go past 2 times through the order.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a sticky situation to try to bet any kind of over on him. But then
Yeah,
also I don't want to bet like under 10.5, like you said, is a weird number. Like
yeah.
that's a really
Oh,
weird
maybe
number.
they are listening to us. FanDuel just dropped it under 3.5 to -152. So
They
uh,
have to be listening.
I might go on Caesars. Wouldn't this be fun? Taking over 10.5 outs and under 3.5 strikeouts, and then see if there's a way he goes 4 innings, 3 Ks, and dips out early.
Oh,
That'd
yeah,
be a
that'd be really fun.
Depending on what the price is with the reverse correlation, that'd be a fun way to just play the game. I
Yeah, man.
honestly don't have any action on that game, but if I did, I would look for the Astros money line if you can find a book with plus money, which let me check on Picket Sports.
All right.
Yep. Well, if you actually DraftKings has plus 100. I honestly think if you can get the Astros in this matchup, uh, finding a line where you don't have to pay juice is not a bad way to play it. Depending how the
Yeah.
Phillies game goes and how the bar is acting up by 8 o'clock, you might see me have a Astros money line, even though I'm not even rooting for the Astros. But sometimes you have to bet with your, you know, your brain, not your heart. So I do think the Astros at plus money is a good look.
Yeah.
So
I think the Astros tie it up. We already talked about it yesterday where like the Astros do a really good job of winning on the road in the playoffs.
no, yeah, I mean they've always played better on the road. So
Yep.
we'll see. I think there'll be two good games today. And also, I'm kind of excited because, like I said before, we've been going to the same bar every single week,
Yeah.
every single game for these Phillies games. I'm excited for the Phillies to play at 5, and then I can go dual screen, watch the ALCS and Thursday football. Despite this being a low total, I actually think this is an interesting matchup with the Saints and the Jaguars. The spread's now down to 2.5, and the Jaguars are plus 120 for the money line. I don't know if I trust either of these teams. I know Will always makes us try to pick a spread or a total or whatnot. I'm not touching anything but props in this game. I think this is a
It's
game
tough.
where I actually think this is a game where you might see a lot of longer, good drives for props that just stall out at like the 30-yard line, 40-yard line. You see a lot of field goals. So I don't know if I like it in terms of betting a side or total, but for props, I think there's a lot of fun things to look into here.
Yeah, props are really fun. I love Alvin Kamara to get at least 5 catches today.
Yeah, what was the price for over 4.5 for Kamara? I saw some like people with crazy prices on that. His over three and a
Um,
half is minus 188 on FanDuel. So that's just for
let,
3.5. So
let me
that's
switch over
interesting.
to NBA. I mean NBA. I had my speaking of NBA while I looked this up. I had my first NBA draft yesterday. I had
You
the
gotta you gotta off the air. You gotta coach me in fantasy basketball because I'm doing my first league this year. I think I know basketball more than any other sport in terms of it's my favorite thing and how much I study it and how much I think I actually know ball. But I
yeah.
just don't. I just never have done fantasy basketball. My friends are like, "Oh, who you going with this? Like you're 16." Like I was like, "Dude, I need to figure out the scoring because I know who I like and I know who I
Yeah.
think can flourish, but I don't know how that translates to
You gotta
basketball
get
scoring at time."
you gotta get the guys who contribute a lot, who will play a lot of minutes even in blowouts, and you need to get guys who don't sit for a lot of injuries.
Well, this league too, efficiency matters in the point scoring, like how
Yeah.
efficient someone shoots. So I like my friend was like, yeah, who do I go, Anthony Edwards or Mikal Bridges, and he ended up
Yeah.
with Bridges for the efficiency boost they get. So who knows? Um,
But
let's
you can get Kamara over 4.5 or plus 100. I mean, for even
yeah
money, plus
yeah.
100.
Don't start that. I don't care. It's plus 100. It's even money. I don't understand. Do you remember when that was a big debate like a month or so ago? Like
Yeah,
there's a Twitter debate. I don't care how you speak. It's the
I
same
don't care
thing.
either.
And it's just
I like but the people who only get really pissed are like the gatekeepers, that like the
yeah,
ones who
like
don't want to see gambling grow. Like I, my wife literally lives with me, well, obviously, but she's
I would
like,
hope so. What the
she has to like hear me talk about sports all the time. Sometimes, legitimately, she will be like, "Wait, so this team is minus 5.5? Are they the favorite or the underdog?" Like, there's already so much for like non everyday bettors
yeah.
to have to remember. You think we're gonna care if they say that even money or plus 100? Like, who cares?
That's like me saying when you said I like Alvin Kamara to get at least 5 catches. That's like me quote tweeting you and saying like it's actually over 4.5. You dumb fuck. It's like
Yeah.
it's just yeah. I do like Alvin Kamara. We talked about it on the show a bunch of times, but man, I don't know what it is with Derek Carr, but his whole career he just hates using his arm. He has such a cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
He has Chris Olave, he has Shadi, like he has all these deep field weapons, and they take maybe one or two deep shots a game, and the
It's
rest of it
wild.
is Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara on these checkdowns. So
Little dink and dunk.
I actually was tempted. Alvin Kamara opened at 27.5 receiving yards. I do think if you think he's getting 5 catches, you tell me you can't find a seam for one of them. His volume has just been wild in the receiving game. I actually like that. I believe Jamal Williams is active today, right? That's the rumor on the
I
street.
I have no idea who's active for this game.
Yeah, I think Williams is back to active, and I actually like that for Alvin Kamara receiving because if you're telling me he can focus on the receiving game and they can just pound the rock with the other running back they got for that exact purpose, I like a lot of the Alvin Kamara receiving angle. And if you follow me on Twitter or on the GoldBoys Discord, I'm already on Travis Etienne over 19 and a half
Yeah, I
receiving
saw
yards.
that.
Ryan Props and I were talking. There's a good chance we might ladder both of them, like in a small way, like say risk
Yeah.
half unit and play, 25, 25, 40, 40, 50, 50. I
Okay.
think I think I'm having a lot of success and a lot of fun betting on receiving totals for running backs on primetime games. While everyone has their Olave props or their insert big receiver name props, I've just been attacking the checkdowns and it's been going really well. And I think ETN, I mean, he gets a Saints team that is so good against the run. They've only allowed one runner to go for 60 plus yards. My guess is they're going to be stuffing the box any chance they get just to make sure he is limited. And he leads the league in touches. They're going to try
Yeah.
to get him the ball some way or another. And I
You
think
have
it's
to
going to
try to get him the ball.
so I think it's going to be a lot of those angle routes or, something that flat. And the Saints play so much man-to-man coverage, which can really be effective against the check down. But you're telling me I just need ATN to make one missed tackle and a man-to-man, and then there's going to be a lot of open grass in front of him. I'll take that risk for 20 or more receiving yards.
Yeah, I like that angle a lot.
Plus, Lawrence is dealing with the knee, so Trevor Lawrence, if he does play, which I think he's definitely playing, but there's no books that are putting any of his props out. I'd be surprised if he doesn't play.
You'd be surprised if he doesn't play.
Yeah, like I feel like he's playing, but no one's really, you
Saying
know,
anything. Yeah.
listing any props or making it seem like he is playing. But I haven't. I he's been practicing. I don't see. I don't know if I see this being a bomb, like a big, like bomb drop right before kickoff. I feel like he's got to play.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I
he has
think yeah, I think if he wasn't playing 2, we'd hear, like, way more.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be way more talk if he wasn't playing. So that's kind of my secondary for backing ETN on the receiving prop today. It's just I do think if he's hobbled with a knee injury, he loves to take off and have those big chunk runs. But if he's not able to run today, we might see a little bit more dump offs, which would be fun.
Yeah, what was the line you got for 18?
19 and a half. It was minus 115 when I took it. It actually moved to like 23 and a half and then dropped back down. So I don't know what that's about, but I do think it's a good look. Actually, I do have a same game parlay for this with the FanDuel
Yes.
boost. Last Monday, I actually hit one because I started doing them, which is I don't usually even partake in the parlays, but it was a way to half ladder Kamara and ETN at 25 plus receiving yards. And then I took ETN under 68 and a half rushing yards, kind of just following the same theory that this Saints defense is so powerful in the run that they should be looking to stop him. And if they do that, I think he's going to get a lot more looks in the receiving game. So it was boosted on FanDuel. I forget what the actual odds were because I just made it. Yeah, so it's boosted to plus 900. Without that, it is plus 600. So if you think that they're going to be able to stop him on the ground, I think it's a really fun way to bet.
I wish I had more for this game. I don't know. I think that I've been pretty cautious on, betting NFL, especially on prime time.
I think it's
Just
better to be cautious on Thursday Night Football just because the
yeah,
last thing you
short
want
week.
the last thing you want to is have 4 props, lose 4 units, and then go into Sunday feeling like you're already down so far in the 8 ball, which is the worst feeling you can have trying to be a free gambler.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, like, I think it was either you or Ryan who said, like, if this or it was maybe monotone, if, like, this game was on Sunday in the middle of the day, would you be betting these props?
Exactly, which is why I don't have a strict rule about betting just one prop per Sunday Night Football or per Monday Night Football, whatever it is. But for the most part, I think I've only ever had one prop for every single primetime game this entire year, solely because of that exact reason. Because how many times on a 16 game slate on Sunday or 14 game slate, how many times you have straight props that are 2 or 3 in one game? It doesn't really happen. Like if you're finding your best edges, a lot of times you're not going to find 3 edges in one game. So I think it's even harder on prime time when the lines are more sharp because it's only the one
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah, they can sit on these, and then it's easier to I don't wanna say it's easier to monitor because they have an entire massive team, but it's easier to see that action because all of the action is literally just focused on one game.
Yeah, so I think it's good advice because it's not even knocking anybody out. But how many times have you been scrolling through Twitter and it's like a Monday night football game or a Thursday night football game, and you'll see these posts are like my card for tonight, and it's like Jags +3, Chris Olave over 4.5 catches, Michael Thomas under 51.5, ETN over 19.5, Derek Carr 2+ touchdowns. Like, and it's like, holy shit, is this 8 single props with like
Yeah.
leads? Like,
Do you
there's
know
zero.
how like and most of the time when like that happens too, they're like negative correlating props too, but like
Yeah.
to have all of your props hit in one game that like aren't 100% correlated is so hard and people I don't think people
Also,
realize that when they
I
start
can
betting.
say this, I love watching, uh, primetime football. Like, tonight, like, I'll have ETN prop, like, 1 prop, just root for that, and then throughout the game, you can sprinkle some live props. If I had 10 bets, like, if I was I'm a $100 unit better. If I had 1,000 some dollars on a 1 game that had 8 different outcomes or whatever, I would lose my mind rooting for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, shit, 90-yard touchdown. That's good for my +6, but it's bad for my under. But at least I got the touchdown from Derek Carr. Oh, but, like, I have the Saints defense." Like, it's just I would lose my mind trying to figure out what I'm rooting for. So that's
Yep.
kinda my philosophy, is having the one bet, your best bet, lock it in, and then just enjoy the game.
Agreed.
Do you have any other angles for this
Yeah.
Thursday night game that you wanna talk about before we kinda move on ahead? Because I really don't know how I feel about this game. I do think if you're betting outside of what we already talked about, I think it's a good game for Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. You have to imagine that Lattimore gets the Ridley matchup, and I would imagine they would try to bracket him on the outside, which should open things up for someone like Evan Ingram that has been running more like a slot receiver than a tight end. Dude, he's kind of fun to watch. He really slimmed out, and
Yeah.
he moves so well for his position. So he's been kind of just destroying that middle of the field all season.
It's because he cut his hair.
Yeah, is that what it is? It just lost like 50 pounds when he cut his
Yeah.
hair.
That's what it is. No, but I don't have anything extra on this game.
All right, perfect. Do you have any closing thoughts or any other? I know you have a sleeper play, don't
I have
you?
a sleeper play, and then I'll give out my other props. So my sleeper play, it's 25 bucks, pays out $146. Um, Alvin Kamara over 5.5 receptions. I talked about that one. That was more for me to get a little bit more bang for my buck. Hagel, this is an HL now. Hagel of Tampa Bay over 2.5 shots on goal. Obviously, hit these in back-to-back games. Um, Vancouver allows a ton of shots as well. And then Jack Eichel over 3.5 shots on goal. Dude has been a madman. I really do believe like him finally breaking through and like winning a cup, like literally unlocked him because I talked about this already, but like him wanting to be on the ice more and working on things that are keeping him off the ice, like, especially on like the power play and stuff like that. Like, I mean, not the power, the penalty kill. That like really helped him. Like, dude's been insane. So I'm gonna bet him straight up too, for anybody wondering. So again, that's Kamara, 4.5 receptions. These are all overs. Hagel over 2.5 shots on goal, and Eichel over 3.5 shots on goal. Speaking of that, I'm going to start playing unders on shots on goals for guys' numbers who start getting too insane to get in bad situations. So I'll start doing that once we get a little bit more data. I think in 1 or 2 more weeks. I've already started kind of like to eye situational betting like that. But in college football, I think this line is going to move a little, probably not much, probably get to 48. Ohio State versus Penn State. So Penn State is at Ohio State in Columbus. Cade Stover over 42.5 receiving yards. Penn State has a number one secondary in college football, which means getting the ball to guys like Marvin Harrison and Emeka Ibuka is going to be difficult. So you want to go to your security blanket right there with Cade Stover, who's hit this in every game but one. The one game he didn't hit in, he wasn't targeted at all. They didn't need to hit the tight end. In the last play, I laddered Nathan McKinnon. I'm going to ladder him again. I said that he has back-to-back situations where the Colorado Avs should get a ton of pucks on net against two teams. Well, the last one wasn't against a team that allows a lot of shots on target historically. It was against a team who they wanted to get revenge on. It was a revenge angle, but this time they're against the Blackhawks, who averaged like 36 shots on target per game. Nathan McKinnon over 4.5 shots on goal, -150. I'm going to ladder him all the way up, I think, until 8 shots on target. Especially it helps that not only did he miss, he had a terrible game, 0 points. Halfway through the second period, he only had 7 seconds of puck possession time. So I'm excited to see like he's going to come out firing.
I like that. I think shots on goal is such a fun market. I know everyone takes advantage of it and they all love it,
Yeah,
but if
it's
you're
fun.
watching a game, I feel like it's gonna be one of the most fun ways to watch a hockey game is just rooting for anything to hit the net or hit anything that the count. Like
Yeah,
it
just
doesn't
hit it.
matter.
Shoot it into his belly.
Just a light tap into the left pad. Just anything. Like
Or
I don't
like or
care
like
how.
or like Larkin yesterday, I think 3 of his 6 shots on target were bounced off the goalie and then he touched him again. Like he had back to back, goes boom, 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 boom. I was like, hell yeah. Just those little tappers. We love those.
Yeah, well, I used to play when I used to play ice hockey and I was a goalie. It was the
Yeah.
same thing where you would. I feel like there's also times like if there's a puck coming towards you, you got to at least make contact so you get counted for a save because
Yeah.
sometimes it helps your numbers and a lot for the goalies just to make it look a
Exactly.
lot worse than it is. So no, I think that's fun. I think this is gonna be a good day of sports. I think
I
there's
do too.
12 NHL games. There's
Yeah.
two big postseason
Baseball.
games. There's a decent honestly, this is the night where the Thursday night football game, where usually football's king. I feel like this is the night where football might get lost in the
Exactly.
sauce. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
might get lost. It's an Amazon Prime game. People are already going to be watching early baseball. That I do think it might be a game that gets lost a little bit. So I'm okay with it. I'll probably tune in and make sure ETN gets his 100 receiving yards, and then I'll call it a day. But I do appreciate you being on here, Brad. I don't know if you have anything else you want to wrap up with, or if you're
No, man, that was good. Thanks for hosting this, and everyone, thanks for checking us out.
yeah, I apologize. My voice has been just dead. Like I have no voice
No
all
need
week.
to apologize, dude. This
Like
is your time. This is literally
no,
your
I'm just
time.
saying. No matter what happens, I will say as a Phillies fan, last year they lost it in the World Series, but you really can't take the time back. Like it's such a fun month of just enjoying it. It's like a month long bender with the
Yeah.
Phillies because that team is just so fun. So I do appreciate you guys bearing with me as I try to talk through some of this horse whatever. I need a lozenge, but as always, we appreciate Picket Sports and Sleeper Picks. GoldBoys live every day at noon, really, Monday to Wednesday, Monday to Friday. So tune in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.